Welcome back to Approved AF, the Mortgage Licensing Podcast, where we talk about what it really takes to grow your mortgage business with confidence, clarity, and compliance. I'm your host, Catalina Stepanov, here to help you level up without the chaos. Today, I'm joined by Jaelynne Vik, the self-proclaimed mortgage enthusiast who is passionate about helping loan officers bridge the gap between technology and client connection. We're talking about how to simplify your systems, get social without overthinking it, and use platforms like Arrive to work smarter. And stay focused on those relationships that drive your business forward. So let's dive in. Hi, Jaelynne. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I see on your LinkedIn, you call yourself a mortgage enthusiast. I love that. Tell us what that means to you.
I would say it just describes a lot of my passion and energy. There are a lot of people that, when they meet me, they tend to remember I'm usually really outgoing. And if you've ever been an underwriter on the other side of a deal that I believe in, there's definitely passion there. So I'm just always enthusiastic about the mortgage industry as a whole.
Oh, we need more people like that stay passionate about what they're doing. It's beautiful. You actually, I also seen on your LinkedIn, went to college for education and you started your career in sales at Wells Fargo. How did those experiences shape you into the way that you serve the mortgage industry today?
Being able to sit in a loan officer seat, because that's where I started at Wells Fargo on the retail side, and actually seeing what they go through has obviously helped me empathize with the struggles, having been there myself. And even before I went into the wholesale space, it just was such an easy transition coming from being a loan officer and working on a lot of the California down payment assistance programs and just really wanting to get everybody out there to be educated on, hey, you can buy a home. So that was something that at the early stages I really loved about the mortgage industry and have kind of taken that with me.
I think it does impact the clients as well when someone has been in their shoes and can kind of be more empathetic, know what that background looks like. We too at Licensing Store have people on our team that have been a loan officer or underwriting and things like that. So it does make our team more well-rounded in that knowledge space. So
Yeah.
what pulled you into the world of mortgage tech and specifically brought you to Arrive?
A few years ago, when I was still on the wholesale side, I was tasked with helping build a new website. So I got to jump in, test loans, explain to developers what was working, what wasn't, because they weren't exactly mortgage people, right? So you have to teach them what was going on at the same time. And I had so much fun doing that project. It took a lot of time, but it just taught me that, hey, there's a gap that needed to be filled with knowledge plus mortgage technology. And so that really started my passion for like, hey, I want to be in the mortgage technology space. This is something that's really going to catapult the industry where we need to be going in the future. So in finding, strategic meetings with brokers, I would often tell them, hey, I would love to save you some money. Let's look at who your vendors are. And it often came up that the answer to a lot of people saving money was Arrive. And I just kind of fell into like really loving Arrive as a platform and a solution for so many brokers that ended up signing up for it. So eventually I got over here.
And then they're lucky to have you, I am sure.
Thanks.
When it comes to loan officers and their struggles, where do you think that they struggle the most when it comes to learning and implementing new tools or strategies into their day-to-day?
I'd say patience. Nobody likes to learn anything new. It's frustrating, when they're on archaic systems and they believe that, just continuing to put Band-Aids on it is the answer because they just don't want to invest in a little bit of time. I even find that with some of our customers that come on, they just jump right in without doing any of the trainings. And so they're missing features. And so I think that if people have patience and realize if I just invest a little bit of time in setting it up right in education, it's going to help me so much more down the road instead of getting frustrated and realizing, okay, I should have trained myself or I should have watched some of these things to set myself up for success.
I mean, I'm guilty of that when I download a new platform and I'm just learning it as I go rather than all of the features that it could include. And I could be leaving money on the table because I don't even know that my current platform has all of those capabilities. So I think you're exactly, spot on, and invest that time up front with the educational resources that, in this instance, Arrive has, and make sure that your baseline, your foundation is solid before taking that next step.
And we're all guilty of that. Nobody wants to read, right? We all just want to jump in.
just, just fill my brain. Um, how do you break down those complicated concepts into quick wins that mortgage professionals can actually use, especially when they're so busy?
um, I would say when you're breaking it down, the biggest thing for me, I would, besides training and turning it into small wins, is that if you look at everything one by one of, okay, I need to do this slowly. Hey, I figured out today how to like get the POS set up, or I figured out how to, add a video. Whatever the small things are, you really just need to take a step back and not feel so overwhelmed by the task list of, hey, there's a million things that I need to do. I didn't do this, and just kind of take it step by step. Whether it's setting aside 1 hour a day to, I just need to focus on this and don't let anything else distract me. Those are some of the ways that I've learned over the years to be more efficient with my time, is just, okay, I'm setting aside this. This is what has to happen.
Yeah, that time blocking skill is really underappreciated, I think. I love it. So, I'm a big time blocker. Um, in a past conversation that you and I have had, you mentioned that you love helping the loan officers get more social. What is the biggest mistake that you're seeing loan officers make in this area?
Being consistent and just doing it. I think everybody wants to overthink it. I don't have, a video set up, or I don't have a mic, or I don't have this. And it's just, you got to just jump in and stop selling and think about educating. That's all somebody wants on the other end is, does this bring me value? And when everybody, takes a generic Canva post or whatever it is and just throws something out there, a bar that means nothing to them on the other end. So when you really put yourself in their shoes and decide, okay, what would I want to know? And just jump in, I think you see a big difference.
Yeah, you just get started. You can always improve after that. But I think taking that first step of just getting out there is probably the hardest thing. So what is one small, easy thing that loan officers could do this week to show up better online?
I would say to number one, start videoing yourself when you're talking on the phone to a customer. And I know people would say, why would I do that? Because you're actually having valuable content right then and there. And if you don't think I need to go back and edit this, just take short clips from it, add some captions, just jump right in and do it. You're going to be answering questions that others have. And don't be afraid to look and hear yourself, right? So initially, everybody's like, I don't like the way I look on video. I don't like the way I sound. But the second you realize, hey, nobody likes the way they sound, our brain is actually like the way the bones in our ears are, they're made to not sound the same as other people hear you. So once you just kind of know that and get past it, it's a lot easier to jump in. And there's so many tools out there that are free that, whether it's CapCut or anything that can just help you with videos. And then there's the paid social guys like, the Shred It app with Josh Pitts or Social Coach. There's stuff out there that you can pay for that really help you. as well.
And like you said, when it comes to, getting consistent, is maybe just set aside an hour and don't overthink it. You just have an hour to do your social posts or your recording and editing, and that's it. And then move on. At least you get that muscle consistent. What is your suggestion for finding that balance between being professional but also being relatable on social?
People do business with those that they like and can relate to. So if you're very serious all the time and just, not how you would act in real life, um, do you walk up to somebody in real life and throw a flyer in their face? So why are you going to do that on social? That's kind of how I was taught to look at it by some of the experts. And I think the more you smile, the more it draws somebody in, the more you're playful. Things about just general people that you like to be around. Think about some of those characteristics of other videos or people that you're like, oh, I really like them. They always smile. They always make me laugh. Whatever it is, and just kind of apply those tactics.
I love that. Can you share an example of a post or a story or a strategy that you've really seen people connect with?
I think when you touch on emotion, right? So if you have real life examples of, there was a vet that, let's just say, needed a home and they were disabled, they had to move, or whatever it is, that's something that hard that you worked on. The more you humanize that and explain that story to somebody, just really helps with that connection. And I think those real life stories are so valuable. People want to know. And that really touches that emotion on the other end where people can relate to you and even to the borrower.
Yeah, storytelling is such a great tool to convey both emotion as well as education, as well as like all of the things that endear someone to you, make you more relatable.
Yeah.
It's not always the easiest skill, but like you said, just get it started. For those who may not know, what is Arrive and what problem does it solve for brokers and loan officers?
So Arrive is a 3-in-1 built-in system. So it has your PPE, your pricing and product engine. So if you are paying for something like Loan Sifter, this can replace that. Because we have all of our integrated lenders on there, so you can go in and price everything and it's live pricing. And then the other thing is that you have your POS, so that's built in there. So your point of sale, and I think a big feature that people love on that is there is also a Spanish option. That's not readily available to other. Yeah. So that is something that we really like about Arrive. And then it's your LOS as well. So it's all in one. With our integrated lenders, our processors can stay on Arrive. They don't have to go to other websites. Did I upload this document? Did I do this? It's all in there. So it's a 3-in-1.
So PPE, POS, LOS.
Yes.
Wow. And how does Arrive make it easier for loan officers to focus on relationships instead of that paperwork aspect?
There's so many features that are in there. I would say one of them that I'm big on getting people to use is our agent portal. So if they invite a realtor, it's co-branded. That realtor can send leads through there. They can even do pre-approvals that you have set in parameters in there, so they don't have to bug the loan officer on a weekend. That's just one example. Another one that we recently rolled out is our task automation, which really helps people stay focused on what they want to do, which is sell, and not have to get involved in all the day-to-day stuff, because with the automations built in, it might be notifying the realtor at each step, however you set it up, so that they're not looking for communication. It's automated through the system as it changes the different milestones. And then there's ways that you can save time with operations efficiently because they're also on automation. So, hey, move to the next stage. I need to do this, this, and this. And it's all in the system. So you can easily just check in. The reporting makes it easy. There's so many features that I could just go on and on about how it can save people time.
Not only does it seem like it saves you time because we all love a good automation system that keeps us like worry free, but it also helps that relationship because it focuses on communication with your partners, and that's really important too. So everybody feels informed. Um, with Arrive, what kind of feedback do you hear from brokers and loan officers who have switched and adopted the platform?
Almost always when I hear somebody say we left this dinosaur archaic system, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, why didn't I do it sooner? That's the most common thing that we hear, that people wish that, they had heard about it, but they were so used to this system, they didn't want to take the time. And it's really awesome to hear that. We have our Facebook Arrive Mortgage Brokers community, and there's over 15,000 people in there. And so seeing how they feel and watching the community engage with each other is really awesome.
That is really, really cool to see. What excites you the most about where the mortgage industry is right now?
Well, today we have government shutdown, so things are quite exciting. I would say we've had some pretty cool wins in the industry lately as far as um, trigger leads, becoming into there with the Broker Action Coalition. So there's a lot of things that are coming up also that are exciting to me because it's conference season. So I get to get out there and see everybody. So those are the things that come to mind today on.
And how can brokers and loan officers keep their energy and enthusiasm high in an industry like ours that has so many ups and downs?
It's really a mindset choice. I realized that years ago. I am a big person on learning and constantly, how can I make myself better? So whether it's, events with Tony Robbins, Darren Hardy, various people like that, you can just start your day with the right things. And then it also helps to have the right people in your network. So if you're following all the doom and gloom people, you're going to feel that way. I learned from Darren Hardy's Insane Productivity, don't listen to the news in the morning. You're like 35% going to have a worse day just by 7 minutes of it. So don't do it. Little things like that have helped me. And then again, it's that network that you have. If you have people that always can find a small win and they're sharing that and you're following people like that, it really helps.
Yeah, and also in yourself being that encouragement to somebody else and making sure that your social posts or the things that you're putting out there to the people that you're interacting with, virtually or in real life, is something that's positive and that they can carry on to be energetic towards somebody else. What advice do you have to loan officers who want to stop just surviving and start thriving, both in business and with their online presence?
I would say start with that social aspect. I can't tell you how many realtors that you find are on there. And if that's who you're wanting to get business from, why are you not on there and engaging, right? So the percentage of loan officers versus realtors that are on social, it has a huge gap still. I want to say a couple years ago, Social Coach said that it was like 90% of realtors and like 30% of mortgage people. I don't know that stat today, but that shocked me and made me think, oh my goodness, I better start telling all the loan officers that I know, hey, if you don't even have a social presence, if I can't even find you, and not just on LinkedIn, right? That's more businessy. But if you don't have an Instagram, something that somebody can easily see you and at least know you exist, that really makes a huge difference.
And like you said, people want to do business with people that they like. So having, a LinkedIn presence gives you that professional aspect, but having an Instagram presence lets people find you who are on that platform and kind of see that background of more well-rounded on who you are, not just your professional face.
And you have more personal conversations on there on Instagram, I think, versus LinkedIn, right? So because it's more businessy, I actually got one of my biggest clients a few years ago just by engaging on Instagram. They had the funniest videos. So I would comment, start talking, and it just became so organic that by the time I walked in the door, they already knew who I was. So that really helped.
And I think that's a key component too, is not just follow people and not just like thumbs up their posts or anything like that, but actually engaging, meaning leave a comment or, hit them up in a message and just say, hey, that was a really great post. So you can start that conversation and keep the conversation being authentic, but, moving forward.
You're so right.
So yeah, we're over here like liking everything, but that doesn't do anything for your actual relationship.
And make sure you have it set up as a business page, not just a personal. So even if you have a personal and you don't want to share all of your family, even though I think that family and those kids' connections really make a difference. People are like, oh, hey, my kid plays soccer too, whatever it is. Those are ways that it just make you feel more connected.
Yes, yes. So for the loan officer who's listening, who's still intimidated by like tech or by social, what is your message to them?
Jump in. Otherwise, somebody else is going to get there first. And I don't mean to sound scary like that, but that's the reality of how fast technology and social really catapults somebody to the next level. There are loan officers that I see on things and I want to connect with them and they don't even exist online. I don't think they realize how that's hurting their business, because the borrower is going to do the same exact thing that I'm doing. Maybe not all of them into all age groups, but I would say if they're 60 and below, which is a pretty huge group of people that you could be doing loans with, they are looking online. They are looking at reviews. They are looking to see a little bit more about you.
And where can people connect with you, follow up with any quick tips, or learn more about Arrive and its platform and what they're doing?
So I'm on LinkedIn, of course, under Jaelynne Vik, but on Instagram, I am under Mortgage Rockstars. So there's some videos on there. I kind of started that just to show loan officers, look, I don't want to do it either, but I'll do it so that you can see that it's not that hard to just, even if you're taking a walk, just pop open your camera and, hey, I just walked by this open house, and whatever it is that comes to mind, those little things get you more comfortable and just start doing it.
Thank you so much. So best place to find you is on LinkedIn or Instagram, and we'll have the contact information in the show notes. So thank you. Anything else that's, was really impactful for you that you want people to know about or share right now?
I would just say if you're not getting the most out of your loan origination system, whether your POS, all the different things, and you want to know more, we do have a free 7-day trial. So if you go to Arrive's website, you can get on there. And that's how much we believe in it, is we'll let you get in there and try it with real loans. And I think that demo and knowing, hey, this is how easy it is to just get started really goes a long way.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing those insights with us. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Big thanks to Jaelynne for joining us today and sharing her insights on staying energized, showing up authentically online, and using mortgage tech to fuel real relationships. If this episode helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your team or your favorite loan officer. Follow along on Instagram at ApprovedAF_licensing for more behind-the-scenes tips, clips, and compliance conversations. Until next time, stay licensed, stay compliant, and stay approved AF.